in the criminal justice system, anytime a police officer makes an arrest, he's got to write the papers up at the precinct, he's got to do fingerprints, he's got to do photographs, he's got to send it all out someplace to find out, does this person have warrants, he's got to go then speak to the district attorney, write up the case, and then bring that person through our court system, where this important case, this driving case, is going to be heard by a judge. There's going to be a team of prosecutors in the courtroom. There's going to be a defense attorney assigned to the case. There's going to be court officers, a steno taking it all down. This is an enormous investment of money. I am sure we could start to think about shrinking, as I think you said, George, shrinking this system. I'm sure that if we put our minds to it, we could decide that this isn't helping anybody because we are stigmatizing a whole lot of people in a way that's going to make it harder for them to get a job, harder for them to get a loan, harder for them to go to college, harder for them to join the service, harder for them to do all the kinds of things that we would like to do. And not only is that happening, but we're spending huge amounts of money to have this adverse effect happen. So it's important because we are really creating, as one writer has said, a new Jim Crow here. We are taking a lot of people out of the system, and it's costing us a heck of a lot to do it. So what could we do about it? Well, as you heard from some of the other speakers, certainly money would make a difference. But I think that we could condition grants of money on doing a better job. So, for example, I was lucky enough to do a training program for assigned counsel lawyers in Manhattan. And these are people who are private practitioners, not part of the Legal Aid Society, who agree to take on cases, criminal cases that the public defender can't take. And the judge in Philadelphia was talking about how she has watched a lot of those lawyers try cases in Philadelphia, and that the best lawyers are not accepting those assignments because the rates of pay for doing that work are very low. I was able to run a grant program that was funded by a Byrne grant. So this was federal money, a Byrne grant that went to New York State. In New York State, the legislature there said, we're going to give X percentage of that Byrne grant to the prosecution, and X percentage is going to go to defense. And they set up, with that money, a training program that provided some resources, training, standards, eligibility criteria to try to improve the quality of representation provided by the assigned counsel lawyers. Now, I'm not saying that we made every single lawyer that we got to work with, we turned that person into a really great, knock-em-dead trial lawyer. I'm not saying that, but that little bit of money went a very long way. And it went a very long way because their dollars in the defense world are so few and far between. People are so grateful for that money that they really worked super hard to show that they were using that money to make as much of a difference as they possibly could. The other thing I think that the federal government could do to make a big difference is they could do this carrot and stick thing that they do quite a lot. For example, now this probably does mean that my time is up, but I'll just give a couple of quick examples to tell you what I'm thinking about. People wanted the states to lower the blood alcohol content from 0.1% to 0.08, that you would be driving while drunk. So they wanted you to be drunk with less alcohol in your system. I'm sorry, I'm not being particularly articulate. So the idea was, okay, if you do this, if you enact legislation that will say that everybody who is driving with more than 0.08 percentage of blood alcohol in their blood is legally drunk, we will give you money for your highway system. So there was a quid pro quo. You do this, this is what we would like to see happen. We think too many people are driving with too much alcohol in their system. You create this legislation, and we will reward you for that by giving you money for the highway system. Well, lo and behold, that happened everywhere. All of the statutes changed. The crime victims legislation is another example. The federal government decided it would be a good idea. Now, crime victims are unrepresented in the criminal justice system. We haven't even been talking about that. That it would be a good idea to create an administration that would assist with financial remuneration people who were victims of crime. The idea was, okay, they put out a federal matching statute. Okay, states, you create a statute that will set up an agency in your state to help victims of crime so that you could get money to fix the locks if you were burglarized. You could get money to bury somebody who was killed. Basic kinds of desperate need. And the federal government would give the states matching dollars. Once again, within a very few years, every single state created a crime victim agency, and now they exist everywhere. So the federal government was able to leverage not that much money to make enormous change in the state systems. So I think these are things that we could do and things that we should do, and there certainly are lots of reasons why we ought to do it.
Thank you very much. I want to explain that there is a series